Hi everyone. Um, I'm going to be doing a few videos for beginners who play guitar. So if you're not a beginner and you're not interested, don't bother to comment because this is just for beginners really. And also for teachers who are looking for ways to teach their students. So um, this is going to be the first video of a few. And basically I'm going to run you through the parts of the guitar, the tuning of a guitar, and how to tune it. So this is a guitar. This is the body of the guitar, and inside an acoustic guitar you have your sound box. So the sound box is what makes the guitar, the acoustic guitar, loud. It makes it, because without a sound box, for example, which electric guitars don't have, as you can hear, it's a lot quieter. Okay, so this guitar is my semi-acoustic. It's a Tanglewood. It's a very nice guitar, rather expensive, not desperately expensive, around £600. If you are wanting to start off with guitars, you can get them for about 40 to 60 quid, like beginners' guitars anywhere. Gear for music. If you live in in an area where you have a More Music shop, you can go to More Music or MOR Music, as some people call it. And then there's also Music Room, Banks Music Room. They're some good shops, but Banks tends to be rather expensive. But if you want to start playing guitar, or if you want to buy some guitars in bulk for your students, the best place to go is probably Gear for Music, because dirt cheap guitars. They come in all sizes, so if you're teaching children, then you've got small guitars, half-size guitars as they're called, which are about that big. 3/4 size guitars, about that big, and then full-size guitars like this one. Okay, so this is the sound box, or the body. Here you have the scratch plate. This is, well, it is what it. Most of the parts of the guitar are what they say on the tin. So this is so that you don't scratch the wood. As you can see, I have anyway, because I'm a complete spastic sometimes. Sorry. This is the bridge. This is what holds the strings in place at the bottom, the sound box. It's made out of wood so that the vibrations go to the sound box and the sound is released out of the sound hole. Okay, so on this guitar there are what's called pickups. Pickups are so that you can plug this guitar into an amp. If you can see where I've got my strap, there's a hole there. You plug your lead into the hole, turn your amp on, and then you can make it a hell of a lot louder, depending on how loud you want it. Inside the guitar, there's these little things called these are little electronic things called pickups, and there's probably one inside this guitar. Okay, so moving on. This is the neck of the guitar. This back bit is all the neck, and you don't want to bend this. If you want to look after your guitar properly, don't put it next to a radiator, whether it's on or off. Don't put it next to it. Keep it away from intense heat or intense cold, because if you do, you'll bend the neck. The intonation will go. The intonation is basically, if you can hear that, they are the same notes. But if your intonation is gone, even if the guitar sounds in tune, like this one, it'll sound like this. If that's your intonation gone, it won't sound right. But I'll probably do another video on intonation at some point. Anyway, that's not important right now. This bit here is the fretboard. Underneath these strings is the fretboard. These metal parts are frets. Now you don't play the frets, because if you play the frets, it makes that noise and it doesn't sound as good as, which is, as you can hear, sounds better. Basically, you don't want to be playing on frets because it makes it sound, it makes it sort of a muffled noise. What you want is that kind of noise. Okay, so you want to be playing basically inside the frets, so between the two frets. So this is first fret, second fret, third fret, and so on. And you've got, if you can see, you've got marks on your guitar, and that's third fret, fifth fret, seventh fret, ninth fret, and 12th fret. 12th fret is the octave. Well, I think it's about 2 octaves apart. I'm not too sure. No, it's an octave apart. So that's an octave. That's the octave of E. So now we're going to move on to the head. This is the head, and these are called the machine heads. This part here is the nut. Don't get these two confused. That's the bridge. That's the nut. So the nut is, as you can see, the strings go through the nut, and then are linked on to these little round things, the machine heads. And when you turn that, it tightens the string, making the pitch different. Alright, so it makes the pitch different. Yeah, so I've pretty much talked you through that. So I'm going to go through the tuning now. The tuning of a guitar, generally when you pick a guitar up, it will be in standard tuning. Standard tuning is E, A, D, G, B, E. So in up close detail, here's the head, there's the nut, there's a fret, and these are more frets. As you can see, the strings get thinner, as they go up the guitar. So you hold the guitar up like this. This is down, that's up, and I'll show you why in a minute. There's a sound hole, you got your serial number in there, and then here's the bridge, and then here is the bridge saddle raiser, as they call it. Scratch plate, and on the back of the guitar you got the neck, and then you get these little metal bits where you can hook your strap onto. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you've got all that sorted out. Now I'm going to show you how to tune it. If you get a tuner, you can get different types of tuners. You can get tuners that you clip onto the end of your guitar, turn it on, play a note, and the vibrations in the guitar will tell the tuner, will send like electronic signals into the tuner, and then it'll come up with a digital sign saying E or A, or whether it's flat or sharp. So you want it to be E first. These guitars, Tanglewood guitars, generally have a built-in tuner. Press that button there, and then it all lights up. So this tuner is telling me that my guitar is in E, so that is definitely E. When you've got that, you can use your tuner to tune the rest of your strings. It's generally more accurate. But if you haven't got a tuner, you can always use a piano, you can use anything, like any other musical instrument that you know is in tune, you can use to tune into an E, as long as you use the E note. If you want to manually tune it, a few of these strings are out of tune slightly, not too much, just slightly. To tune a guitar, so that's E. You take your index finger, put it on the 5th fret, which is the one with the dot on it, the second dot. You don't press too hard, don't press too light. You have to be able to, make it sound. And then after you've played that, play the next string down. As you can hear, they have to sound exactly the same for them to be in tune. Okay, so they're in tune. Next string, same thing, 5th fret. They're in tune. Next string, same again, 5th fret. That's in tune. Alright, we're going to move slightly down. We're going to move on to the 4th fret, which is between the two dots. Those ones. And on the 3rd string, which is this string here, the G string, here, you go on to the 4th fret, which is, as I said, the one between the two dots. And as you can hear, that is slightly different. They don't sound quite the same. So the B string is flat, because it sounds da-da. And flat means that it's lower than the note it should be. Sharp means it's higher. So right, so that is flat. That's sharp. So that's sharply out of tune. So if it's sharp, you can hear it sharp. This is your B string. Turn it that way a little bit. So you'll turn it anti-clockwise to make it go down, to make the pitch go down. It's still a little bit sharp, so I'm going to tune it a bit more. It's pretty much the same, tiny bit more. There we go. And if your string is flat, like this, then you simply turn it the other way, clockwise. And there we go. And then for the next string, you go back up to the 5th fret. So there we go. And now that is in tune. And you can always just play a chord. That's G. You can always just play a chord to just make sure it is in tune. So there you go. That is the first tutorial video for beginners. Thanks for watching. Hope this video helped.